So I get a fun call last week. This is Monty Wills of Sullivan and Wills from Montgomery, Alabama. And he calls and says, Paige, I have a house to show you.
Yes, and we came up last week and checked out this house, and I think you were taken with it. Is that fair to say?
Oh, that's very fair to say.
Yeah. So when you told me about your blog and your show that you do, I was like, can we please do something up at the house?
Yes. Well, we have featured a lot of fun, interesting, special, big homes, but this right now is the most expensive house on the market at Lake Martin. Can we see?
Let's go inside.
Okay.
So I know you want to get to the water, of course, like who doesn't want to get to the water at Lake Martin? But this house is so dramatic and so grand. I think it's worth checking out some of the other features before we see the amazing waterfront outside.
Yes, yes. Well, let's go into my favorite room, the living room.
I know, right?
It's just grand. I don't know that I've seen a living room quite like this in all the houses I've sold and shown in 17 years.
Yeah, and this house was designed with and built with a care. It's a Keith Norman house, who's a Montgomery architect, and Bill Joyner, who's a well-known coach at Lanier High School, built this house and built to his specific specifications. He knew exactly what he wanted. He had a growing family, and of course, if you're up at Lake Martin, you want to be able to see the water from almost anywhere, which is one of the things that you get here in this room. So Coach Joyner was a collector, so he had these custom built-in cabinets to show off all of his collections in the house.
Now this is amazing. Y'all, this house is so big, we're only going to feature a wing of it. And if you want to see the entire house, you'll have to give up one of us a call. But tell us about this room.
Well, this was the study. This is all handcrafted, imported wood. And I really like it because it just, and when we turn around, you can see it, it just has a command of the whole house. And it's right off of the master bedroom here.
Yes.
And it just feels like a place where you do some real business.
Doesn't it though?
Right?
So Mr. Joyner had quite an amazing business.
He did. He was in 1962, he was the head coach of the Sidney Lanier Poets basketball team. He later was the football coach and athletic director. In fact, I think the gymnasium at Lanier is named after him. And some years later, he started Olympia Sporting Goods at Montgomery Mall, and it was their first location. I remember going there as a kid. And over the next 40 years or so, he built it into a thriving business. I think they had over 9 locations, and they ended up selling sports equipment to teams and colleges and high schools throughout the Southeast. And in 1997, he decided to build this house for his growing family. So let's check out the master.
It's special too.
Okay. So again, you've got this master with this amazing view of the water. These very high ceilings. You've got this sunroom right here, right off of the master. And the great thing, among many great things about this house, is that there's 6 bedrooms. Every bedroom has a master suite.
Yes.
Coach Joyner did not want anyone arguing over who got the small bedroom or who got the small bathroom. So every bedroom in this house has a master suite to it. Not quite as grand as this, because the master still has to be the master, but very impressive.
It is amazing. It is plush. But then what really excites me is I've never seen a closet like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a store.
You've got a his and her wing to the closet,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, look.
I mean, hanging bars, shoes, just jewelry. He thought of
all
everything.
built-ins.
Okay, so we take pride in, there's every kind of real estate at Lake Martin, from a cabin, all the way up. And this truly is phenom.
It really is. I grew up on this lake, And I can remember as a kid, for instance, having our boat over at Kalijah. And one of the great things about this house, it has it has its own detached boathouse with 2 pull-through bays, so you can pull your boat right down in there. And the boat that's in this boathouse right now is almost 30 years old. And it's in that condition because it can come up out of the water and it can be, right
Yes.
here instead of having to take it somewhere and store it.
Yes. Now you have a special term for this kind of house, and I love it.
Well, I think it's a legacy house. I mean, this is, as you noted, one of the beautiful things about Lake Martin is that you can have a cinder block fish camp
Yes.
sort of house, and then you have a house like this with 8,500 square feet, 750 feet of waterfront on 4.5 acres on 3 lots with a detached boathouse. And this is the kind of house that is a legacy. It's a legacy for you. It's a legacy for your children. And I certainly know that the Joiners saw children and grandchildren all grow up and come up here. And I think that's just a special opportunity for someone.
Yes. Well, how do we find it?
Well, there is a link that you can go and see at www.208windcrest.com, which is the address. There's a full gallery. There's a 3D walkthrough. There is a virtual tour with some drone footage and then some other details about the house. And if you're interested to see it, they should give you a call and come up and check it out.
That'd be great. Thank you.